Most people think the smartest move before retirement is acquisition, grabbing that final perfect asset, securing that dream property like it's the last piece of a puzzle. You're making a catastrophic mistake, and that mistake will silently drain every dollar you've worked decades to build while you sit there confused, wondering where it all went wrong. I'm Robert Herjavec, and I didn't come to America with nothing in my pocket to sugarcoat uncomfortable truths for you. I'm here to help you survive the most dangerous financial transition of your life. Retirement doesn't give a damn about your emotional connections. It doesn't celebrate your past victories or applaud your career highlights. It's a ruthless mathematical formula, cash flowing in versus cash bleeding out. And if you enter that phase clutching the wrong assets, clinging to outdated strategies, it will absolutely destroy you financially. I've built cybersecurity empires from scratch. I've watched companies rise and collapse. I sit across from entrepreneurs every week on Shark Tank. And let me tell you something, I see the same financial mistakes in retirement that kill startups, not with dramatic explosions, but with slow, agonizing erosion as people realize their calculations were fiction. The most critical skill in your 50s and 60s isn't accumulation anymore. It's strategic, sometimes painful elimination. Today, I'm going to walk you through 5 things you absolutely must sell immediately before your final day of work. Not suggestions, not possibilities, requirements. This is your financial survival checklist for the next 3 decades of your life. Pay attention or pay the consequences for the rest of your retirement. The first thing you need to sell, and I mean you start this process this week, is your emotional attachment to your house. That structure you're living in isn't a trophy case for your career achievements. It's not a shrine to your success story. It's a liability pretending to be an asset. And the moment it stops serving the practical needs of your daily reality, it transforms into a financial tumor, slowly killing your retirement portfolio. I don't care about the memories you made in that backyard. Your mortgage company doesn't value your sentimental attachment. The only thing that matters is the relentless cash hemorrhaging from your accounts every month for property taxes, homeowners insurance, maintenance, utilities, heating rooms you haven't entered in months, cooling square footage you'll never use again. You're essentially paying an astronomical storage fee for furniture and memories. Let me be crystal clear about this. Your home is only genuinely an asset if it's generating actual income or liberating capital you can deploy elsewhere. Otherwise, it's purely a consumption item, and an outrageously expensive one. I see this pattern constantly. Hardworking couples desperately holding onto a 4,000 square foot monument to their past, hemorrhaging $25,000 annually in property taxes alone, while they're terrified to spend $4,000 on a vacation they desperately need. They're house rich and cash starved, living in a prison they built for themselves. You know the excuses by heart. We need the space for when the grandchildren visit. The grandchildren visit maybe 4 days per year. You're literally incinerating $25,000 for what amounts to a 4-day hotel experience. It's our neighborhood, our community, our lifelong friends. Your friends are facing identical mathematics and will probably be gone within 5 years anyway. The market's strong right now. Interest rates fluctuate. Markets shift. These are justifications masking fear. Here's the uncomfortable truth nobody wants to hear. You're not selling a home. You're liquidating a cost center. You're converting an illiquid, emotion-heavy, constantly draining brick structure into liquid, deployable, income-generating capital. The goal isn't just downsizing your square footage. It's strategically slashing your fixed expenses. I want you living somewhere where your monthly obligations, property taxes, insurance, maintenance are cut in half immediately. That liberated capital gets invested in assets that actually produce income. The freed cash flow stops the financial bleeding. This isn't about cramming yourself into a depressing smaller box. It's about moving to intelligent simplicity, a maintenance-free condo, a ranch-style home in a tax-friendly state, a townhome home within walking distance of everything you need so you can sell that second vehicle. You execute this now while you're healthy, while you have the physical energy to manage the transition, while the real estate market is liquid and favorable. You don't wait until you're 78 with a failing roof forcing a desperate fire sale. You sell from a position of strength on your timeline, dictating the terms. The action is straightforward. This week, you pull every statement from the last 12 months related to that house. Mortgage payments, property taxes, insurance premiums, utilities, lawn service, repairs, upgrades, everything. You add it all up without flinching. You look at that annual number directly in the face. Then you research what a comfortable 2-bedroom, low-maintenance property would cost in a sensible location. You compare those numbers side by side. The difference between them, that's the annual price tag on your sentiment. If that number doesn't shake you to your core, you're not being honest with yourself. Sell the house that served your old life brilliantly. Buy the shelter that enables the freedom of your new chapter. The second thing you must sell immediately is any investment you cannot explain to your spouse or a smart teenager in one crystal clear sentence. I don't care if it's a tech stock, a cryptocurrency token, a piece of raw land, a private equity opportunity your golf buddy pitched you at the club. If you need industry jargon to describe it, if you're referencing historical performance from 5 years ago, if you're banking on the supposed genius of some fund manager you've never actually met, you're holding a ticking time bomb, and retirement is when it explodes in your face. Risk doesn't come from market volatility. Risk comes from not understanding what you own. Period. When you had a steady paycheck, time could rescue you from stupidity. Bad investment, wait it out. Market crash, you'll recover. When you're retired, you are the cash flow. You are the business. A 40% portfolio drop isn't some abstract paper loss you patiently wait to recover from. It's the actual money you needed for this year's living expenses. Gone. Evaporated. I see this tragedy unfold constantly. The retired engineer holding 40% of his entire portfolio in the tech stock that made him feel like a genius in 2015. He doesn't understand the technology or the business model anymore. He just remembers it made him feel brilliant. Now it's down 70%, but he can't sell because that would mean admitting he got lucky, not smart. So he holds it stubbornly, watching his retirement income disintegrate in real time. Or the retired teacher trapped in a variable annuity so incomprehensibly complex, the prospectus runs 200 pages. She has absolutely no idea what the hidden fees are, what the surrender charges look like, what triggers penalties, but the smooth salesman assured her it was safe. It's not safe, it's incomprehensible, and incomprehensible is dangerous. In retirement, complexity is your mortal enemy. Complexity conceals fees. Complexity breeds uncertainty. Complexity forces you to make critical decisions in absolute panic when markets move. Your retirement portfolio must be boring by design. It must be explainable to anyone. I own this index fund for broad diversified market growth. I own these municipal bonds for tax-advantaged income. I own this rental property for predictable monthly cash flow. That's it. Finished. You're not trying to prove how sophisticated or clever you are. You're engineering a reliable machine that generates consistent cash to fund your life. Here's your assignment. You open your brokerage statements and go through every single holding line by line. For each investment, you write down on paper the one-sentence reason you own it. If your sentence starts with, well, my financial advisor recommended, or it used to perform well, or I think it might rebound, you've just identified a liability disguised as an asset. You sell it immediately. You take that capital and redirect it into something so simple, so boring, you could explain it to a 15-year-old without breaking a sweat. Dividend-paying stocks in established blue-chip companies, treasury bonds, a low-cost S&P 500 index fund. This isn't about maximizing returns anymore. That game is over. This is about securing predictable, reliable cash flow and protecting your capital base. The thrill is finished. Your job now is stewardship and preservation, not speculation and excitement. Sell the mystery investments. Buy absolute clarity. The third thing you need to sell, and this is a mindset more than an asset, is your permission to procrastinate. I've watched incredibly decisive people who built successful 40-year careers transform into absolute cowards when facing their own retirement planning. They avoid looking at the real numbers. They postpone critical decisions. They say things like, "I'll figure out Medicare later," or "I'm not totally sure about Social Security timing. I'll probably just take it at 65." Let me tell you exactly what later means in retirement planning. Later means you're 71 years old. You get hit with a $7,000 unexpected dental implant bill. You're forced to withdraw money from an IRA during a market bottom, permanently locking in losses while simultaneously triggering a higher tax bill, all because you were too uncomfortable to model your actual cash flow 3 years earlier when you had options. Procrastination in retirement planning isn't harmless or neutral. It's actively, measurably destructive. You are consciously choosing a worse financial outcome because doing the uncomfortable math today feels awkward. You know what's infinitely more uncomfortable? Running out of money at 82. You need to become the CEO of your own retirement, and CEOs make informed decisions based on real data in front of them, not hopes and assumptions. You must know to the exact dollar your baseline annual spending, not an estimate, not a guess. You track it precisely. You must understand the tax implications of every single account you own. Traditional IRA, 401k, Roth IRA, taxable brokerage accounts. You must have a comprehensive plan for healthcare costs that doesn't naively assume Medicare covers everything. It doesn't even come close. This is a one-time engineering project that changes your entire financial future. You sit down, you gather the actual numbers, and you build the plan. I don't care if you use a detailed spreadsheet, sophisticated software, or hire a fee-only financial planner. But the plan must exist in writing, and you must understand every component of it. A solid plan removes destructive emotion from financial decisions. A plan eliminates hundreds of small panic-driven decisions every single year. For example, understanding when to start taking Social Security benefits. Most people grab it the instant they're eligible at 62 because they see what looks like free money. That's often a catastrophic, completely irreversible mistake. You might be abandoning 30% or more in lifetime income by not waiting until 70, but you'll never know the truth unless you actually model different scenarios. The action is absolutely non-negotiable. Within the next 2 weeks, you block off one dedicated 4-hour session. You gather every financial statement. You list every income source and its projected start date. You list every essential expense category. You identify the gap. That gap is what your investment portfolio must reliably cover. If the numbers don't work at your current spending rate, you have exactly 2 choices: work longer or reduce costs immediately. Knowing this reality 5 years before retirement gives you power and options. Discovering it in year 2 of retirement gives you panic and regret. Sell the comfortable illusion of ignorance. Buy the empowering clarity of a real plan. Number 4, you must sell your unconscious automatic spending patterns. Right now, your spending is probably a fossilized record of your busy, stressed, overworked career life. The convenience purchases because you had no time. The subscriptions you signed up for and completely forgot exist. The extra car because commuting required it. The expensive hobby you don't actually enjoy anymore but feel obligated to maintain. The constant dining out because you were too exhausted to cook. Your paycheck covered all the waste. It didn't matter. In retirement, there is no paycheck cushion to absorb the waste. Every single dollar of waste comes directly from your finite, irreplaceable capital base. You are literally burning the fuel that keeps you financially alive. I see retirees trapped in two luxury car leases costing $1,800 monthly when they drive maybe 5,000 miles annually. That's complete insanity. That's $21,600 per year, which at a conservative 4% withdrawal rate requires a $540,000 portfolio chunk just to fund cars sitting in your garage. You're trading potential financial security for shiny hood ornaments and leather interiors you barely use. I see people hemorrhaging $300 monthly for cable packages they never watch, $200 for gym memberships they haven't used in 8 months, another $500 on impulsive Amazon purchases cluttering their already oversized house. This isn't living intentionally. This is a leak in your financial boat, and you're frantically bailing water with a teaspoon while ignoring the hole. Retirement spending must be intentional and purposeful, not habitual and automatic. You must conduct what I call an audit of pure joy. You examine every single outflow from your accounts, and you ask the only question that genuinely matters. Does this expense actively increase my happiness, health, or freedom today? If the answer is no, or even maybe, you cut it, not reduce it, not trim it around the edges. You eliminate it completely. You sell that second vehicle. You cancel the redundant streaming subscriptions. You stop eating out because of laziness. This isn't about living like you're broke or depriving yourself. It's the exact opposite. It's about strategically funneling every single dollar toward what genuinely matters to you. For some people, that's international travel and new experiences. For others, it's contributing to grandchildren's education. For others, it's premium healthcare and peace of mind. You ruthlessly eliminate the cost that brings zero joy, and you reallocate that liberated capital to the experiences and security that genuinely matter to you. You're not cutting your lifestyle quality. You're dramatically upgrading its efficiency and intentionality. The action is concrete and measurable. For the next 30 days, you track every single penny you spend, no exceptions. At the end of the month, you categorize everything into 3 columns: essentials, joyful, waste. The waste column gets eliminated entirely. The joyful column gets analyzed carefully. Can you get the same joy for significantly less? The essentials column gets optimized ruthlessly. This process alone typically finds people $1,000 to $2,500 monthly in completely wasted cash flow. That's $12,000 to $18,000 annually you're not pulling from savings. That's freedom. Sell the mindless financial drain. Buy intentional, purposeful living. The fifth and final thing you must sell is the most psychologically toxic asset of all: your identity as your job title, your business card, your office with your name on the door, your position in the corporate hierarchy. These were costumes you wore brilliantly for an important chapter of your life. They are not who you are. And if you walk into retirement believing your purpose and value have been permanently switched off, you will be miserable, lost, and you will make desperate, catastrophically stupid financial decisions just to feel that sense of power and relevance again. I've watched powerful executives retire, and within 6 months, they're clinically depressed. They're driving their spouses absolutely crazy, and they're jumping recklessly into half-baked business ventures just to feel the adrenaline rush of relevance again. That's how you incinerate a third of your net worth in 18 months. You didn't lose it to market crashes. You lost it to an untreated identity crisis. You need to consciously decouple your self-worth from your business card before you walk out that office door for the last time. You are not the former vice president of operations. You are not the retired director of sales. You are a human being with valuable skills, decades of hard-won experience, and enormous potential for a completely new kind of meaningful contribution. Retirement isn't the end of productivity and purpose. It's the transfer of your productivity to areas you actually control and care about. Your purpose now might be mentoring young entrepreneurs struggling with challenges you've already solved. It might be part-time consulting in your field, but on your terms, your schedule. It might be volunteering for a cause that genuinely matters to you. It might be building the perfect garden, writing the book you've always talked about, learning to paint, teaching a skill. The critical key is having structure and a sense of contribution lined up before you walk out that door. This is a psychological sale, and it's absolutely critical for your financial safety and well-being. A person with clear purpose doesn't make panicked financial moves trying to fill an emotional void with expensive toys or risky investments. Your final action step before retiring. You will write down 3 new potential identities you're going to explore and try on. Not hobbies, not pastimes, identities. A mentor to struggling small business owners in your industry. A board member for a local nonprofit you believe in. An expert craftsman selling handmade pieces at local markets. You will test at least one of them during the year before you retire. You build the bridge to your new life while you're still standing on the familiar side of the river. Sell the outdated title that no longer serves you. Buy a new mission that excites you. Let me bring this together with absolute clarity. Retirement is not a reward you've earned where everything gets easier. It is the most critical, highest stakes financial phase of your entire life. You are no longer in accumulation mode. You're in distribution mode. And the landscape is absolutely littered with the financial wreckage of portfolios that were destroyed by sentiment, complexity, procrastination, unconscious waste, and unresolved ego. You have a brief, precious window right now to be strategically ruthless, to sell the house that's become a financial anchor, to sell the investments you don't genuinely understand, to sell the dangerous habit of postponing critical decisions, to sell the spending patterns that bring you no real joy, to sell the outdated identity that will leave you feeling lost and vulnerable. This isn't motivational speaking or inspirational platitudes. This is tactical financial strategy for survival and thriving. The genuinely wealthy don't just accumulate assets. They're absolutely vicious about selling liabilities at exactly the right time. Your time is right now. This is the last, most important deal you will ever negotiate. The deal you're making with your future self. Make it a brilliant one. If this clarified the hard mathematics you need to face head on, then you know what to do. Like this video so it reaches someone who's still sleepwalking toward retirement. Subscribe to this channel. This isn't about entertainment or feel-good content. It's about building a community of people who face financial reality with courage and clear eyes. Share it with someone who desperately needs to hear this straight talk. And in the comments, tell me which of these 5 sales is going to be the hardest for you to execute. That honest admission is the first real step toward change. Now go look at your statements with fresh eyes. Your future self is waiting and they're running out of patience.